Yo! What's going on, YouTube? I'm back again. I haven't been back in a while. I've been busy. I've been doing podcasts. So if you listen to podcasts, I strongly suggest you check out Tate and Josh in the Morning under BMAX Sports on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. I've actually been posting the last few up here. So I strongly encourage you to check those out. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the QB room heading into the 2020 season. I think the Gators are in great hands between Trask, of course, Emory, and Anthony Richardson. I think we got three studs. Now, these guys each have their weaknesses, and I'm going to break them down for you. Trask, I think, last year, I don't know if it was due to the injury he suffered to the knee in the Auburn game or if it's just something he's not very good at, is mobility, in my opinion. He would take his drops, and he would plant his feet in the pocket, and he didn't really climb the pocket. But towards the end of the year, he did start making some improvements there. And I've seen the off-season videos where he is absolutely grinding, working on footwork. It looks like he's dropped a few pounds. Hopefully he picks up a little pep in his step. And I hope he proves me wrong that he can be a mobile quarterback, that he can be the dual threat that we need in Dan Mullen's offense. And he did a fairly good job last year. I was quite surprised with him. You look at the limited amount of snaps he got in high school and even college, for him to come in and perform at such a high level, my goodness. And he's playing in the SEC against these great defenses like Auburn, like Georgia had a great defense last year, and playing pretty well. This year we have to get over the hump. We have to beat Georgia if we want to take that next step as a program. It's going to help us out tremendously in recruiting. We recruit a lot against Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee here recently, and we haven't been doing too well. So I would love to see us get over that hump and beat Georgia and Jacksonville and get back to Atlanta. That's our goal. That should be our goal as a team this year. I think it can be done, especially with Georgia bringing in a new OC, new quarterback. I just think this, if not this year, then when are we going to beat them? You know what I mean? So now we'll go talk about quarterback 2, Emory Jones. Emory Jones is a guy that I just admire his talent. He's a big play waiting to happen. If the receivers aren't open, if they're covered, you have to cover him as well. In the run game, you have to account for him at all times. And I think you've seen that a little bit last year when he would come into the games, like Virginia, for instance. He comes in for a couple plays, and look, P. Ryan pops a big run down the left sideline. And you've seen that throughout the games last year. When he would come in, the run game would open up. Against Auburn, when Trask went down for that one series, we drove right down the field, kicked the field goal. He can move the ball against elite defenses. I expect to see him take the next step this year. I wouldn't necessarily call it a 2-quarterback system, but I look for him to get much more reps. And I think this is something Mullen has to emphasize because we can't afford. I know we got Anthony Richardson, but we don't have a whole lot of depth at the quarterback position for the coming up years. You don't want to see Emory Jones transfer. You don't want to be playing against this guy because this guy is elite. And he's got good ball skills. He can really throw the ball, can really spin it. We've seen him in the times he has been able to throw the ball that he's not terrible. And I think this, with another year under Mullen, he could be elite, no doubt about it. But I expect him to see him get more snaps. And I don't want to see us force him in there like we did last year. Mostly the biggest game that comes to mind is LSU. Trask finally gets in rhythm. We're scoring almost every possession. Bam, he throws Emory out there. It made no sense to me. We go 3 and out. LSU, of course, goes down the field and score. We knew what their offense was capable of last year. And I think that might have took away from – it definitely messed up Trask's rhythm, in my opinion, and then maybe took a little bit of his confidence he had. Anyway, LSU was going to be a tough game to win last year, but looking at this year, LSU loses a bunch. They lose Joe Brady, Joe Burrow, Thaddeus Moss, Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's going to be a whole new offense, and they got to come to the Swamp this year. I like our chances to win that game. I really do. Now, will we go undefeated? I highly doubt it. It's never been done before at Florida. But, it's possible. We just need to get over – I really want to beat Georgia this year. That's got to be our emphasis this year, is to beat Georgia. And our third stringer, Anthony Richardson, got injured his senior year. In high school. He was on the show Netflix series Quarterback 1, should be coming out soon. But he's got a cannon for an arm, can really run. He's big guy. Reminds me, a lot of his attributes and a lot of his skill set reminds me of Cam Newton, former University of Florida quarterback. We all know who that ended up. That was not good. So hopefully we're getting a guy with a skill set similar to Cam Newton without the all-field issues. He seems like a good kid from everything I've read. Seems like he's bounced back off that injury. We'll see. But he's a big guy, and I really feel comfortable with the future of the University of Florida in his hands. He's a specimen. Maybe even next year, the 2021 season, if we can get Emory Jones to stick around, Emory will take the reins, and maybe he can take over the Emory Jones role, come in from time to time, take a drive here or there, mix it up a little bit. Because I think he brings something even different than Emory Jones. He can be that power runner, kind of like Cam Newton was, run you over, then run around you, and throw the ball. He's got a cannon, man. I've watched some of his highlights. He's good. But this video was just a short little video on the quarterback room heading into 2020 where I expect Trask to be the starter. I know I made that video, and it got a lot of views on it, and a lot of people were giving me flack for saying Emory should be the starter. I'm aware Kyle Trask is going to be the starter. I mean, and he's earned it. But I think Emory Jones will push him, and it'll end up making both of them better. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see Emory Jones start before the end of the year. But if Trask keeps up the pace that he had last year, he's going to do fine. The Gators are going to be fine. And hopefully we can get over that hump and beat Georgia and Jacksonville, and we can get back to Atlanta and kick down the freaking door. All right, guys, it was your boy B-Mac. I'm going to try to do the wide receiver room next. So I'll start doing a little – I know most of them, but I'll do a little research, maybe even give you a breakout player to look for. But anyway, it's been your boy B-Mac. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace.